Hello. Thank you all for joining me today on this wonderful, blessed Sunday, October 11th, Columbus Day. Remember, when you're angry, take your fists, put them together, pray, and pray for peace. That's what we need now. Guys, a couple of weeks ago, I had a lot of requests for people wanting me to say a prayer to everyone's guardian angels, which I did. And I got more requests for that this week. So I decided to do a couple of things. I wanted everybody to know that I decided to keep a candle praying always, lit, that is, and burning always for everybody's guardian angels. And I went and I got this, and I had it blessed, and it will be sitting with everybody's candle that is burning for the guardian angels, everyone's. And I believe the week before that, I talked a lot about property, home blessings, cleansings, smudgings. I remember making a comment about smoke your house out really good, but you might want to unplug your smoke alarms and be careful. And I got a message, I laughed, but it wasn't very funny. A message from a young lady who smoked her house out really good. She said, Rev, I tried to turn my smoke alarms off before I did the smudging and I couldn't figure out how. So I just decided I would be careful and not get anywhere near them with the smoke, the incense and the smoke. Well, apparently she did a much better job than she had anticipated. She ended up setting her alarms off. She couldn't figure out how to turn them off. Her neighbor heard the alarms, thought there was a fire, and called the fire department, and they did indeed show up to the house. So I feel really bad about that, and I feel bad that I didn't bring this up also during our talk about smudging. I use this for people with upper respiratory issues, or they're allergic to breathing in smoke, or they just don't like the smell of smoke. Maybe they have animals that they're worried about in their house. You can purchase some of this. This particular brand is called Sage Smudge Mist. Some of it's just called Sage Mist or Smudge Mist. And that's exactly what it is. You spray it. It's very strong, just like if you were burning the smoke, but there is no smoke. It's like smokeless. I doctor mine up a little bit. There is some blessed salts, blessed oil in here, holy water. I doctor mine up a little bit, but you don't have to. But that's a great alternative if you don't want to have set you're allergic to smoke, or you don't want to set your smoke alarms off. So I've already talked to that young lady and apologized for that. And I actually sent her a bottle of Sage Mist. You can get it online. You can also purchase it at your local mystic shop if you've got one of those. So there we go. What else do I want to talk to you guys about before I bring on my very special guest? My opening prayer and candle lighting tonight is for a very nice woman by the name of Cindy. She is an expectant mother, and she asked me, Rev, I do plan to baptize my baby as soon as I can after he or she is born. But what can I do for extra protection for my child prior to that? And the answer is simple. There is no greater love than that of a mother's for her children. So you want to always, never forget, to pray to our mother. And in my humble opinion, the most powerful metal that you can get for protection and to fight off evil and to have a direct hotline to Mary and Jesus and God, and to ensure your entrance into heaven at the time of death, is to purchase the miraculous metal. I'll show you a picture of what the miraculous, there's it front and back, the miraculous metal. I won't go into the whole story about it. You can look it up if you want to. It's a wonderful story. Mary came and visited St. Catherine, and she actually instructed St. Catherine on how to make that metal. So it is actually a metal that Mary gave us, and she promises us that If you truly have faith and you believe in the power of the metal and you get it blessed and you wear it at all times, there's nothing more powerful as far as protection and asking for favors from Mary than that metal, the miraculous metal. So I have a very nice prayer. Let me light Cindy's candle for her. There you go, Cindy. May you and your child be blessed beyond belief. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Queen of heaven, reign with your Son over the enemy. Queen of angels, summon the heavenly hosts to war. New Eve of the new creation, crush the head of the serpent. Our Lady of victory, come to our aid in battle. Help of Christians, be our comfort and strength. Virgin most powerful, guard us from all harm. Holy Mother of God, we fly to your protection. Amen. Okay, a couple of quick announcements, and we will get the show rolling. Anything you need to know about me or my wife, you can find out at our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. That's our ministry right here in Las Vegas, Nevada, taking cases now. If you go to the website, there's a lot of cool things there. Keep in mind that my wife, Sharon, and I do not charge for our ministry work, helping people with their paranormal issues. So if you notice the button and you're able to do so, send in a small donation. I promise you it will be appreciated from the bottom of our hearts, and we will put it to good use, I assure you. You'll notice there a page called Spiritual Advisor. In addition to being an ordained exorcist, I am also a certified spiritual advisor, intuitive coach, listener. And if you're having some issues of a spiritual nature, not necessarily attached to the paranormal, and you'd like to make an appointment to speak with me, you can do that on that page there. You'll notice a page called the WSE course/book. I am co-founder of the Worldwide Society of Exorcists, and I offer a 13-week online college-level course, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare. If you've ever felt the calling to know more about deliverance ministry, this is the course for you. It's right for the time. It's right for those that have felt the calling. I'm not going to teach you how to go out and perform exorcisms. I believe that is a calling. But what this course will give you is the knowledge and the weapons to do battle if that need ever arises for you in life. And I assure you, we are constantly under demonic attack 24/7, just being the human race. If you're interested, you can enroll in that course there. The graduates get a stunning diploma suited for framing. And I'm taking enrollment now for the fall classes. If you enroll before 2020 is over, in honor of All Saints Day, All Souls Day, Thanksgiving, and of course Christmas, I am going to throw in for all my graduates after the fall classes a very special religious relic that I received from the Vatican, touched and blessed by the Pope. I've got a number of those, and so those will go out to my students of the fall classes. If you just want to know more about the course, you can go to the Worldwide Society of Exorcists Facebook page and read more about the course. You'll also notice on that page my new haunted autobiography, God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry. And if you haven't done your good deed yet for the day, pick up a copy of that. Last month was Children's Cancer Awareness Month, the month of September. So that whole month, all proceeds of book sales of my book went to stjude.org and St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, Nevada. I have decided to extend that another month. So I am still donating all proceeds from book sales of my book to those two wonderful organizations to the end of October. So I know you've heard me say that Annette Munich, owner of Stellium Books, my publisher, said it was the scariest book she ever wrote, or ever published, I should say. But guys, it takes something scary to fight something scary like children's cancer. And believe me, there's many, many good stories in the book. I mean, there's a lot of good versus evil in it, where good wins. So don't be scared away from the book. There's rumors, there's an attachment to the book, but no one has told me that they've experienced anything malevolent with that attachment. So purchase the book. You do a good thing. And if you've already done that, you're a part of the support group for St. Jude's. God bless you, and you'll be repaid for that one day. All right, guys. What else do I got for you? Other than this is Reverend Sean Whittington's Paranormal Ministry. I'm your host, Reverend Sean, the host with the ghosts, the Rev. Welcome to my haunted house. Keep your eyes on the moving a little bit. I've got the AC off, the fans off, the vent off, the bedroom door closed. The dream catcher never moves unless spirit is present. So watch it during the show. You might see it rock or spin. How are my dowsing rods doing today? They're vibrating a little bit. Why they always want to point back at me, I don't know. If anybody knows that about anything about dowsing rods, why do they always want to point back at me? Not as active as they normally are, but I saw them vibrating a little bit. Over on the doorknob, right here, where my thumb is, I was gifted a religious relic Christmas ornament. And before I could decide where I wanted to hang it on the tree, I temporarily hung it on my doorknob to the bedroom here. The other day I noticed it had lifted up as though somebody had put their hand behind it and pulled it to their face to admire it or look at it. To me, I thought very childlike, and you all know that I do have a child spirit here. So keep an eye on that ornament also. Sometimes it starts to twirl around or move back and forth, and that lets me know that we have friends here trying to be part of the show. All right, guys, don't forget I am a joint production of WO Entertainment and Paranormal Nation Radio. Check out both those Facebook Live pages for both those networks. They've got a ton of great shows all week long. Not all paranormal, and the main thing is it all funnels down to supporting the troops, the vets, mainly the vets, preventing vet suicide and things of that nature. Great organizations, both Paranormal Nation Radio and WO Entertainment. Support them as much as you can. My producer, Carl Albertson, behind the scenes, makes it all happen. He's going to be manning the chat room, which is the comment section below the show here. Jump in there, make some friends. We're all family here. It's all love and light here. If you have any comments to put in there, please do. Any questions? If Carl sees a question, he'll try to get it up on the screen for me. And me and or my guest will get to the question as soon as we can. On that note, my guest tonight, back by extreme popular demand. You guys asked for him because last time he was here, he rocked. And I'm going to just let you guys know now, you may see some things tonight that I will have absolutely no answer for. It is what it is. Because here he comes, live from Australia. Mentalist, paranormal authority, extrasensory perceptionist, psychic, and my friend, Jason D. Varga. Jason, how are you?
Good, excellent. A little bit chilly this morning, but well, yeah, it's morning for me here.
You're such a handsome man. Look at you. You look the camera. You look great. You've got a great look for camera. I've always been told I have a face for radio. So why I'm doing a podcast, I don't have a clue. But you look great. You sound great. Yeah, you're back by popular demand. You freaked everybody out with the little performance you did last time. Maybe I'll be able to talk you into doing something a little bit later in the show. But let's get the important things out of the way first. I heard you guys are getting hit bad again with the pandemic. What's going on?
Well, yes and no. Well, again, it's sort of, well, it's been constant, really. So in Victoria, we've been on lockdown for, it seems like for the whole year. And it's sort of annoying where we are down on the Mornington Peninsula is sort of, it's meant to be regional, but they've actually included us in the Metro Melbourne area for the lockdowns, because a lot of people from Melbourne come down to the Mornington Peninsula for holidays, especially during the better weather. So we've got the steel band, we've got police set up on the highways. Anyone trying to come down to the Mornington Peninsula, they have to have a reason for it and all the rest of it. And yeah, we're still sort of, unless we've got an actual reason to be outside of 5Ks from home, we can't go any more than 5Ks from home. So it's, most of the shops are closed. Everything's, online. We sit here most days looking out the window waiting for parcels to arrive. But it is what it is. They're getting the numbers down. Hopefully by the end of October, early November, we'll be relatively back to normal.
Oh my gosh. Well, brother, my prayers are out there for you and everybody in Australia and all over the world for that matter. Here, I haven't checked in. I feel bad, but I'm going to be honest. I haven't checked in on this situation in a while. When the pandemic really got rocking and rolling here earlier in the year, it really hit the indigenous people here hard. What's it like there for the mobs and the Aboriginals? Are they like locked down to their own areas, or do they call them reservations out there?
Well, it would be more regional. So they're in a lesser lockdown. They're in what they call stage 3. So we're at the moment where we are, we're in stage 4 lockdown, which is a bit harsher. But the majority of the lockdowns are more inner city and those sort of areas where it's a larger population in one tight space. So the indigenous people, I guess, aren't having that as badly if they're out in the regional and sort of semi-regional areas.
Oh, hang in there, brother. Hang in there. Main thing is, you and your family stay safe, stay healthy. There's going to be an end to this. Oh my gosh. What I did tonight was since you're back by popular demand, I decided to try to make most of my questions that were sent in by fans and followers of yours. So somebody wants to know what the D stands for in your name.
Oh, well, interesting story there, actually. It actually stands for David.
Okay.
I was initially, when my mother was pregnant with me, she was hooked on the name David and wanted to call me David. But my Hungarian grandmother could translate it into Hungarian, and Mum wasn't really too thrilled about me having, a Hungarian name. So, they made that the middle name and called me Jason, apparently after Jason and the Argonauts.
Wow. That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's a good story. There's another thing you and I find, and I don't plan this out. It just happens. Every time I have somebody on, I always find so many things I have in common with them. And that's another thing you and I have in common. My father wanted my middle name to be Stephen, and my mother wanted Patrick because she baptized me under St. Patrick, and many years later also confirmed me in the Catholic religion under St. Patrick as my guardian saint. So because they both couldn't agree on which name to go with, they just kept them both. So a lot of people don't know I'm actually Sean Stephen Patrick Whittington. And they just, they didn't draw straws or, rock, paper, scissors. They just went ahead and said, well, let's keep both names then, which I thought was very cool. But that's very cool. So in Hungarian, there was no translation for David. I find that very interesting.
No, there was a translation for David.
Oh, okay.
Which is why Mum didn't really want my grandmother calling me the Hungarian version, but there was no translation for Jason, so I had to be Jason.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool. What do we got here? Oh, my smudging incident. I talked a little bit about my smudging incident. Somebody wanted to know if you had. They remembered me talking about that a couple of weeks ago. They sent this in, wanted to know if you had any special techniques when it comes to property, house cleansings, blessings, things of that nature. Oh my gosh, Sharon and we made the heartbreaking decision early this year when the pandemic kicked off that we were going to just stay in this whole year. Of course, she continued to work. I was furloughed for 2.5 months, just went back to work on an extreme part-time basis, but I haven't physically gone out to work any cases because we're both high risk. We decided it would just be safer to wait till spring of 2021, see where we're at. And I know it's been like that for everybody in my field. Many. What do you have any special techniques with all of your training and the belief system you have? I know you're a very spiritual person, very gifted person. When you go out to do a property and house blessing, cleansing, smudging, is it pretty much like the same as we all do, or do you have any special techniques that you like to do?
Pretty much, take the batteries out of the smoke alarms.
Yeah.
I generally work on the assumption that I keep, one door open, so everything gets, funneled to that one door and out. Generally, when I do a smudging or a cleansing like that, my thoughts are, one, intent is everything. You must really have the intent and the belief in what you're doing. If you're just walking through the motions, it's not going to be as strong. If you have that 100% faith in what you're doing and faith in the spirits and everything that are helping you, you can do it quite easily. The other thing that I always focus on, and I say this to a lot of people, is that just smudging the house or cleansing the house isn't good enough. You have to protect it as well. It's like cleaning your house and then leaving all the doors open for the dust to come back in. So anytime I cleanse the house, I'll also put certain sigils under the doormats on the front door or somewhere near, the door. So it's sort of having that double effect. You've cleaned it, but now put some barriers up, some wards, and actually protect it as well. And again, it's what the intent is. You may have a religious statue or something at the front door, or anything that you want to be as that protection, but the intent is really important. If you just put the statue there and go, oh yeah, it's going to protect the house, is it? Or if you have the intent that is what it's going to do and really put that intent into it, it's going to work 100 times better.
So well said. And it reminds me of how many times I've told a family, I can't guarantee you. I mean, I'll come, I try to convince people that they are truly the ones that have the actual power to. I don't have any magical powers. I mean, I'll come over and bless their home for them, the property in the home, show them how to do that so they can continue to do it. But I let them know up front that I don't have any magical powers and that they truly are the ones that have the power to draw their line in the sand, make a stand, push these things back. And there's no guarantee that these things, if there is something there, are going to leave right after a cleansing or a smudging. So I've told many families to get together as a family unit because they want to destroy the family anyway. Get together as a family unit around the living room table, join hands, pray together, and then talk to this thing and tell this thing in, what your intent is, and usually whatever verbiage they want to use, the intent being, you're not welcome here. We rebuke your presence. And in the name of Jesus Christ, we command you to go to the foot of the cross for Jesus to deal with you. and you must leave now. But everybody's got to be together and on the same page. Do you ever have circumstances where the family's just all over the place, and you can't, they're not doing what you need them to do to help you?
Yeah. Oh, look, occasionally, and we all know that if there is something particularly nasty in there, one of the first things they try to do is isolate a person and cause that, if it's concentrated on one person, they'll try to isolate that person from the rest of the family and cause problems that way, so that it's breaking the family apart, so they can't get together and do that. And I went to one particular one where one of the family members was being isolated and being, I wouldn't say it was a full-on possession, but definitely being influenced by something nasty and basically breaking the family apart. And it took work on a few different levels. So a spiritual level, a family counseling level. It took so much work on various levels to get all that back in line and get the family all focused as this is for the benefit of all of us in this household. So yeah, it does happen.
It's the hardest thing I'm running into now. Well, one, I know a lot of it has to do with me physically not being there, but I'm running into a lot of people that they're still expecting it to be, so magically everything get better after doing a good property house cleansing and blessing. And I'm attributing it to the fact that evil is around us at a level that I haven't seen in my lifetime, all through the world right now, like a cancer. You can just turn on the TV and see how it's affecting everybody. But because of that, and the veil's probably the thinnest it's ever been, if there's even one still there. But it's the cancers among us, and these things are not going easily. When once upon a time it might have, thought, I'll just go to the next door neighbor and hang out there because they have no religious belief system in place and they're much an easier target than to deal with these people here that are just, now they know how to fight me. But now I'm trying to convince these people, be prepared for a fight for your life, possibly for the rest of your life. Because sometimes you never know why they were targeted. And even sometimes if you figure out why they were targeted, you can't go back to when the deal was done and change that. So you just got to keep fighting. How do you convince your clients that, you can call me, you can continue to call me every single night and tell me it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. But you've got to continue to fight. How do you handle that with your clients?
I guess the way I approach it is I really want the clients to be independent, that they don't have to keep on calling me back or whatever, that it is trying to put across to them that it is in their hands. It is, they do have all the power, by giving them sometimes something, the old saying, seeing is believing, by giving them something that they can see that it's working, they know that something is happening, that then gives them, plants that seed for them to have that more confidence in what they can actually achieve themselves as well. So it's hard to explain.
I get you. I'm feeling it. I'm totally feeling it. It can be very discouraging for people like you and I and what we do. Like I just had a gentleman speak to me the other day, claims, and I believe him, claims that he's had these demons attached to him for many, many years. He didn't confess to me what the mortal sins were, but he did confess that he committed a couple of mortal sins and was doing some devil worshiping and practicing the occult and knew that that's how the attachment got to him. But then he claims like he changed his whole life around. He's repented. And it doesn't, he's done everything you could possibly imagine under the sun and reached out to everybody you could possibly imagine he could reach out to in my field for help. And he's gotten no help, and he's done everything and nothing works. So, of course, as soon as I start to tell him what I think he should do, there's already resistance there because I've mentioned a few things he's already done. Because he doesn't get it that you may be in for a fight for your life for the rest of your life. You've committed a couple of mortal sins that you don't even want to confess to me. And you were a Satan worshiper and a devil worshiper, and you practiced the black arts. These things 100% are convinced that they've been given permission to attach to you and you belong to them. So, having said that, I said, so you've done everything, huh? Yeah, I've done everything. Have you tried just going and getting a recording of a Catholic Mass or some really good, strong worship music, throw it in your CD player and just blast it and play that 24/7 for about a week? Oh, I haven't done that. Try that. See what happens. I'm telling you, man, that really, really gets them going. And they can't stay. They cannot stay. So anybody out there that feels that you've done it all, try that. Just, you can go online and get recordings of the Catholic Mass. You can get really powerful. The words of this gospel music and worship music you purchase have to be powerful. You've got to have faith in that and throw it in your CD player and just crank that. Don't worry about your neighbors getting pissed off at you. Crank that stuff. Make it so uncomfortable and so that these things don't want it. They just can't be there. Do we got a question here? Do you find if a person is not in fear of an entity or evil spirit, they will be less likely to become a victim of the effects of all evil beings? I will let you answer that, my brother.
To me, yeah. Well, there's two sides to that coin. If you're not in fear of something, or let's put it this way, if you are a diehard skeptic and you didn't believe in any of this stuff, you hadn't witnessed any of this stuff, you create your own reality and explain the odd things away as logical things, are you less likely to feel the impact or get attacked? Yes, you are less likely to recognize the impact because you don't believe in them. But suddenly you might start, drinking, taking drugs, being an alcoholic, whatever, because an entity is attached onto you and changing you up that way. So you're still vulnerable. You just don't recognize it for what it is. But if you are not in fear and you do recognize these things and you have that strength to go, no, you're not coming in my house or you're not attaching yourself to me, then that's what, it will happen. If you've got that strength, and that's all it takes, that strength to go, nope, go away, You're mentioning someone that had, tried everything. Unfortunately, and I met a client that it sounded very, very similar, but he was very much stuck in the victim mode and wanted to have that attention of going to one healer to the next spiritual advisor. He didn't want to get better. He was actually just stuck in that mode because he was liking the attention. And when you're working with someone like that, there's not a lot you can do.
Yes, and I will add to that just, there's a lot of people that doesn't believe they exist. Well, the devil's greatest victory and trick he played on all of us to make people believe he doesn't exist. And if you go around with your head in the sand like an ostrich, doesn't mean that you're any less of a victim. My wife has a question for you. I forgot she's on the other end of the house watching on the laptop. What is that necklace that you have on? It's very interesting looking.
Okay, so in my my real job many years ago, I was an industrial engraver. So I used to engrave little bits and pieces. This is just a piece of brass on one side. If I can get the camera there, it's like a yin yang.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Symbol out of dragons.
Oh, that's beautiful, man.
And on the other
that.
side, yeah, I engraved all this. And on the other side is the astrological, and I'm a Leo, so it's a little lion there.
Wow, that's beautiful, brother. Do you still do that stuff?
Occasionally I do little bits and pieces from home. We have, I don't know if you know much about Australian rules football, we have the AFL here. And I used to work for the people that make the AFL Premiership Cup every year. I left them in 2000, I think it was. But I still engrave each year's AFL Premiership Cup because they can't find anyone else to do it.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Forgive me for doing it, but I feel I have to. Let me give everybody your website. Oh my gosh, I wrote it down. Here we go. www.esp. The number 2 to fear.com.
Yep.
I want you to start making that stuff again and put your special blessing on them and have them on display and on sale on your website. I have a feeling, brother, you will make some money, and it's going to a good cause. People are getting a one-of-a-kind blessed medallion made by you to take and cherish and use for protection or for whatever the meaning may be. And I could be, I could be opening a can of worms here for you, and I apologize, but I think that would be a great thing. And you're looking at probably one of your first customers here. I would definitely purchase one of those. That's awesome, man. And I know you and I have known each other for a long time. I'm thinking you told me that story about being the engraver years ago when I probably had you on my Monday show. And I forgot about that, but that's wonderful, man. What do we got here? Oh, okay. And I talked about this too at the beginning of the show. These must be some people that just got done watching last week's show, and I told them and I announced who was coming on this week. Someone wants to know if you believe in guardian angels.
Yes, okay, so for me, angels, archangels, all the different levels, guardian angels, to me, it goes back even further than our written Bibles. I believe that they're just older beings that, are always here for us. I definitely believe I have a guardian angel. The stuff that I went through as a teenager and things like that, I don't think I'd be here unless I didn't have a guardian angel. But unfortunately, when I was younger, my guardian angel was probably walking behind me going, whack.
Yeah, they are definitely nowadays. Can you imagine how much overtime they're putting in?
Yes.
It must just be, oh gosh. Well, I'm glad you do. And I have so many friends. First of all, I love psychics. I have a lot of friends that are psychic, and I have a lot of friends in the clergy that always get on me for having friends who are psychic. I even have some Wiccan friends and some witches who are friends. I don't judge. I don't want to make anybody mad. I've seen enough crazy things and experienced enough crazy things in my life that I just want to be loved. Peace. Come on, everything's good. We can all get along. So I'm glad you did that, but it brings me to a question. There's a worldwide, in addition to the Worldwide Society of Exorcists, there's a worldwide group of exorcists that I am in constant contact with, and we occasionally perform what we call exorcism by distance. because we all can't get together, and usually you don't want, for whatever the reason may be, and there's many, many different theories on this. You don't want 6 exorcists all trying to take authority over the exorcism. You have one exorcist that takes authority over it, an assistant, maybe a standby exorcist if that first one gets sick or hurt or something. But you need one that takes authority over it. Since we all can't get together and we're all over the world, when that time, God forbid, it happens, the person who's taking authority over that will send out a mass email to all of everybody in this network of exorcists all over. And we ask that we give them the name of the client, who we think we're dealing with, the entity, what's been happening, and then we make sure we let them know the address, the exact address, and exactly what day and what time this exorcism is going to take place. And we ask that at that time, everybody in the network, if it's possible for them to do so, to stop what they're doing and drop into meditation and into deep prayer for that exorcism to accomplish its goal, for the exorcist to accomplish his goal, and for it to bring closure and move with this, whatever this thing is, onto wherever it needs to go, or needs to be, or back where it came from, what have you. And we found once we started doing that, the ratio of exorcisms we were able to bring closure to versus some that we just kept having to go back and go back and go back, and some of the cases are still open. We found there was a dramatic turnaround, positive turnaround in practicing this exorcism by distance. So then I thought, well, with as crazy as the world is right now, and knowing that the demonic cancer is now thoroughly infiltrated the world, that all of the Wiccans and witches, good witches that I know, and the good psychics, very gifted psychic mediums that I know that are all about the love and light, the people that are all into the angel religions and all other. What would you say if I thought, if we all got together and formed a special group and did a mass conjuring, a mass come together of us all, heart, body, and soul, at one particular time, and called on everything, called on the aliens, called on the interdimensional beings, called on source energy, whoever might that be, called on guardian angels, all of them, spirit guides, all to come down and say, enough's enough. Help. Help. Give us either the advice and the knowledge to help us turn this whole thing around, put a stop to what's happening now, or at least come down and help us. Now's the time. We're not, help.
I think it's a brilliant idea.
When I throw something like that at you, what do you think?
I think it's a brilliant idea. Look, I'm all about the collective energy is so much more powerful. As you know, with the exorcism group, as you're saying, if you're one person doing it, the energy that zaps out of you is just immense. If you have a collective, all thinking the same thoughts and having that same intent all at the one time, that is so powerful.
We have, I may send you some private messages and send some other people I know some private messages, how to possibly put that together. Maybe it'd be a weekly or a monthly thing where we know on this particular, we stay in contact, and maybe on a weekly or monthly, bi-weekly, whatever thing, on a particular day and a time, we know that we're all going to, ask the people that we know that are there, that are helping us on the other side, and to come into this group in spirit and rub elbows and mingle with the other spirit entities of all different source energy, and come together with us, and fight back, fix this mess that We'll see. It's
Brilliant.
been something that's really been bothering me and making me think about it. And I know because we've had such success with the exorcism by distance that, well, we got about 15 minutes left. I only got to 3 questions of your fans and followers, which means 2 things. 1, I'm going to have you back again. 2, I was going to ask you if you had anything planned tonight, a performance, and if you did, how much time did you need?
Oh, I can do something in a couple of minutes. Hang on. What do you need? What do you need? All right.
What
Well,
do you want from me?
I did talk about some spoon bending. My wife is getting upset with me taking all the cutlery, so I thought I'd grab a couple of forks instead of spoons. So actually, I've got 3 forks here. We'll use this one as a control fork, so we can see they're pretty much the same at the moment. So all you need to do, and I'm going to try to get this maybe in front of my shirt so you can see that I'm not going to do anything really, really weird. I'm just going to hold that like that. Or actually, I might hold it like that. And again, this is all about, collective energy. So I'm just going to hold that one there like that for a little while. Actually, where's our control one? We might grab this one as well later. And generally when I'm doing this in a crowd or something like that, I put out there with my wording that they've got to expect something to happen. So the beautiful thing about that is that I'm not just using my energy. We were talking about collective energy before. But if I've got everyone expecting something to happen, then their energy is actually infusing into that and helping into that and going, well, something's going to happen. So they're expecting it and they're actually putting their intent into it as well. Now, Uri Geller used to do this, he used to have people holding old watches that would suddenly start working or holding spoons or forks or whatever. And he'd say to them, expect it to happen. Something will happen. And if I open up my hand there, I don't know, you can actually see that
not only the
those are a
handle a
little
little
bit
bit,
bent.
but the actual prongs on the fork.
Compared to our control one there.
Now, when that happens to you, are those hot? Do those get hot or cold?
Not really. It's actually quite cold, which is sort of weird. But if we do that a little bit, we can see with our control one just how much it's not only bending here, but also the prongs are
absolutely
getting a little bit warped. Let's try. Now, again, this is all about intent, So do you remember, you probably did this at school where you would take a pencil or a ruler and you'd go like this and it would look like it was bending. But it's only an optical illusion, obviously. But if we have the intent that is getting soft, and by the way, these are stainless steel. You probably can't see the thing there, but if we actually just give it the intent that it is bending and it is becoming soft, and again, this is not getting hot. This is just normal temperature. If anything, it's a little bit cold.
Wow. I can definitely see something happening. That is freaking me out right now.
And again, it's all just about that intent. Yeah.
What I'm
still being
from you, besides freaking me out like you always do, what I'm taking from this is that you have been able to harness all of the energy that all my viewers tonight and everybody that's in on this show has put into that.
Yeah.
And that's what see what and I am so on board with that, and such a believer in that, and that's why I wanted to get. I wish I'm going to start with a small group of just very gifted holy people, and I mean
Yeah.
holy people that um, from all walks of life, all religious belief systems, um, and to try this, you know, fight back, get the help that we need, and fight back. But I would love to do that on a much broader scale, to where I can take people's energy, because surely you can take that energy and use it for something other than bending a fork and a spoon.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
What I was saying before about giving something to for people to see, so that automatically then their belief is going, wow, yeah, I can see that's happening, so this must be real. So the energy just, it's like a great big wheel, and it keeps on expanding, because the more belief and energy that's being put into that, the bigger it gets and the more powerful it becomes. But
I
that
have
happens.
no,
Sorry,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
but that happens on the other scale too. With everything that's happening worldwide, a lot of people are focusing on the negative, so there's a lot of collective negative energy around, and That's what we've got to battle as well.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't have said it better myself, brother. And I love you for saying that, because that's exactly what it is right now. It's like everybody is so short fused.
Mm,
What happened to turning the other cheek? Um, uh, Curbing your temper, working on that. I
yeah,
don't care. If you have an anger problem, and if you have to go as far as to search out anger management course or a class somewhere,
yeah,
do it. I'm a human being. I have anger too. I'm really working hard on that myself, because I've been cooped up in my house here. I only go out 3 nights a week for about 2 to 3 hours a shift at my job, and otherwise I'm here with my mastiffs and my wife, and that's okay. But there's times where I feel like I'm going a little stir crazy. I see something on the news that makes me mad, or see something my neighbor might be doing outside that annoys me, and I'm getting better at just being able to instantly snap out of any negativity. The
yeah,
second I even know that I'm feeling negative about anything, that's throwing up a red flag and kicking the alarm in and letting me know, stop right there. Make the sign of the cross, say a prayer, and
yeah,
then and tell yourself a joke. Find some comic on
yeah,
TV and watch him. Something, but it's all, yeah, you're right. The intent and the negativity, man. We've got to make the intent different and make the negativity, switch that around.
yeah, definitely.
Uh, hmm. Well, let me see if I can get a couple of more questions here. 5:55. We got 5 minutes. Oh my
That's
gosh, you're coming back. You're definitely coming back. Oh, had a friend of yours on my Monday show last week, Sula
Oh,
Vaitzis,
sure. Yes, yeah,
had,
yeah.
had some great things to say about you. I know what I want to ask you. You've been all of you guys have been so active in the paranormal community there, as many teams here. Now
Mm,
it's like overnight, we've been thrust into this paranormal virtual world. I see these paracons and these paranormal conventions now are all virtual, and these haunts are virtual, these ghost hunts are
yeah,
virtual, and oh
yeah.
my God, do you think that's here to stay? Or do you think we're going to get back to some normalcy of the way it
I,
used to be?
to me, you can't beat the real live in person, experience. But to me, I think the virtual things are great, and they will be here to stay, because when we think about it, paranormal investigations and ghost walks and things like that, you might have someone that is immobile, maybe stuck in a wheelchair where they can't go down into basements and stairs and things, that really wants to experience that but can't do it in person. So the virtual experience is the next best thing. You know, I think the virtual experiences are here to stay, and it will be the sort of next tier if you can't get to do it in person. You know.
Well, listen, this is what I'm going to close the show with. Nobody thinks or feels like Jason and the Argonauts, David Varga. You're a very special man. You've got a big heart. You've got a good soul. You know I love you and respect you. I want to, take a moment and whatever you're feeling in your heart and in your soul that you want to throw out word wise, vibe wise, advice wise, anything to who all might be tuning in tonight. And after tonight, the show goes to, into the archives, and it's always there for people to see. Anything that you would like to share with us from the mind of Jason D. Varga that might, for the few out there that it doesn't matter, they've jumped into the deep end of this negativity and this badness, and they don't know how to swim, and they're drowning, and it doesn't matter what they watch or who they listen to, they feel like there's no help there for them. Suicides are off the freaking charts right now. Abuse, abuse of children, spousal abuse, alcoholism, drug abuse, all of this stuff. Anything you would like to say?
Yeah, that's a interesting one. The only thing I can say to people out there at the moment is, look, it is hard to stay positive sometimes, but always try to find some sort of positive in the situation instead of saying to yourself, why is this happening to me? Maybe change it up is, how is this happening for us? Try to find the positives in even the worst of situations. And if you really can't, reach out to someone, even if it's a friend, a neighbor, a family member, someone, like ourselves, if you are struggling, reach out, because there's always someone there that is wanting to help, and maybe their positivity will rub off on you, and then it'll spread,
Absolutely. Well said. I mean, I'm the first one to admit at least once a month, once every 6 weeks, I have a friend who's a psychologist that I talk to, and we just talk. But I know that as we talk, he's able to just kind of hear me out and determine if I'm losing it or not, because the last thing you want is a crazy exorcist coming to your house. And about every couple of months, I have a psychiatrist friend that I also talk to. And there's no shame in that, reaching out to people. I know Saturday was international. I believe it was International Mental Health Day.
Health Day. Yeah.
And it shouldn't just be one day. It should be every 365. Every day should be considered International Mental Health Day. And if you know somebody that you think is struggling emotionally, reach out to them. And that might be all it takes to keep them from, doing something bad to themselves. A lot of people think, well, I'm struggling financially and, I can't pay my mortgage and I'm about to get evicted and I don't have a job. But your friend that you love may even have it worse and may be thinking about checking out, and you should probably just a phone call. They know they can't get any. You don't have any money to give them, or you can't let them move into your home because might get evicted anyhow. You can't give them a job because you don't have a job. But just the phone call and your voice, and the fact that you cared enough to think about them and call them, made that's baby steps, but start somewhere.
Exactly.
I'm glad you had a chance to. I'll reach out to you with some more open dates. I think I'm booked with both shows till the end of the year, but I got to have you back because, like I said, I've got probably 12 more questions here from followers of yours, and they're going to be mad at me that I didn't get to all of them. But I love you, brother. You stay safe. I know you talked to my producer, Carl. a little bit on before we started the show backstage about joining in on the WO Entertainment and Paranormal Nation Radio. Try to beat the record of 180 straight hours live on air broadcast starting Halloween. You're probably going to be fit in there somewhere. They're going to fit you in somewhere with the change of day and time. I mean, I know it's tomorrow there in Australia in the morning, so they'll work that out because I know that you'll be a great part of that. And on that note, brother, I will tell you thank you very much for spending an hour out of your busy
Thank you.
Monday morning to spend with us. And I'm not done with you yet.
Fair enough.
Have a great evening, brother. I'll talk to you later.
You too. Okay.
Good night.
Bye.
Brothers and sisters, it doesn't get any better than that. The one and only Jason and the Argonauts, David Varga, live tomorrow morning from Australia. I'll have him back, I promise. And I apologize to all of his followers that sent me in questions. I didn't get to all of them, which is another reason why perhaps maybe the show should go longer. I don't know. But listen, guys, next week, well, tomorrow night, I'm celebrating my 5-year anniversary show, believe it or not, Vegas Supernatural. My special guest will be live from Hawaii, Lapaka Kapanui. Robert Lapaka Kapanui, the ghost guy, expert on all things haunted Hawaii, will be with me tomorrow night. I will be back here with a brand new Reverend Sean Whittington's Paranormal Ministry next Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific. Oh my gosh, you're going to love this lady. Lucinda Laughing Eagle will be here. She has her own show and had me on there, and we had such a great time. You guys are going to love her. Wonderful soul, beautiful person, big heart, very spiritual. You guys are going to love her. So, guys, on that note, I know I don't have a show without all of you. So God bless you all for tuning in tonight. Have a blessed week. Stay blessed. Stop the anger. Stop the violence. Be happy no matter what. Positive thoughts. No more negativity. No more negativity. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. God bless you, everyone. I'll see you all next week.